There has been a recent surge in the amount of programming content on the web, due to sites such as YouTube and Stack Overflow dominating the internet. There are so many different ways you can learn to code without even leaving your bedroom. Interactive courses, YouTube videos, ebooks, the x86 assembly guide, the list is seemingly endless. You can literally learn to code whenever convenient at your own pace. There are, however, some big drawbacks to all of this. Learning to code on the internet may seem great at first, but the thing is, teaching yourself to code is actually rather difficult. One of the first things you need to do is figure out what language you need to know. Yes, you can Google it, but there are so many different options these days, it's difficult to know exactly the right fit for you. You could of course argue that it doesn't matter what your first language is, as long as you actually learn it, but then you'll later find that the language doesn't meet your needs, whether that's the language being too slow or too complicated. It is important to consider the 4-hour-long C++ course on FreeCodeCamp probably doesn't cover enough for you to actually do anything with the language, unless you want to spend every 5 minutes Googling about a new problem. If you're going to be self-taught, you'll probably want to make yourself a curriculum, which is difficult to do when you're literally clueless about everything. A university course would differ to this, as they would ensure to teach you everything you would need to know for getting a job. This is the same for learning things like Git. I'm sure we've all been there, having a hard drive dedicated to version control. Okay, maybe that's just me. A properly taught course would cover this, so you wouldn't have to worry about learning it the night before your interview. Also, I'd highly recommend you don't rely on YouTube tutorials. Yes, they can be great if you want to learn a technology for this one-time contract in 30 minutes, but a lot of YouTubers don't provide enough of an explanation for like anything. And after a while, the views and money become the only driving factor for the YouTuber. Oh, and be sure to check out my Patreon for an exclusive. But seriously, if you can afford it, I'd recommend investing in a decent, curated course. And if YouTube is your only learning resource, make sure you do your own research and put your knowledge into practice before progressing. Oh, and one more thing. Good luck getting a job without any qualifications. To be clear, I'm not suggesting that you shouldn't teach yourself to code. I actually advise you to. If you have some spare time on your hands and have an interest in programming, you should definitely give it a shot. I mean, yeah, of course it's hard, but to be honest, that's just the nature of programming. In fact, a university course is arguably just as difficult as learning it on your own. Anyway, if you enjoyed my complaining, be sure to like and subscribe. Oh, and if you disagree with any of my points, be sure to comment them down below, as it boosts my video in the algorithm.